All right, welcome back to Mediocre MTG. Today I'm gonna do the showcase a very mediocre commander deck. The first one I built and played, in I guess competitively in a play group larger than just one other person. And then I've got a special treat that involves my sealed pool. From my War of the Spark pre-release kit that I opened up last night and built a deck with, and I'm actually pretty happy about how that one turned out. So as I walk away like I just did, because I forgot the rest of that deck, I'm gonna come back and we're gonna look at pretty much my first commander deck I built was Rafiq of the Many. Ended up being Voltronish, so kind of making it so one creature can get big enough and maybe take a person out or two. It's not one that I played too much because it can generate a lot of hate from other people at the table. So see someone who's playing a deck like that, you probably, well, get targeted. So Rafiq is my commander. So the first card we have up, I'm just going to kind of go in no particular order. Sovereigns of Lost Alara. I went with the whole Exalted theme that Rafiq has. One creature attacks by itself, gets +1/+1 till the end of turn. Sovereigns was cool because it would look for other auras, enchantments that I could attach to the creature. So that was one of the ways that I used Rafiq. Here's an enchantment again, another Exalted with the Finest Hour. Creates an additional combat phase then. Not sure how often I had that out or how often I used it. Open the armory looking for a equipment card. This card, I don't know if I had it in another deck. There's definitely another deck that I would have used this in. But this again, looking for the auras to put on Rafiq. An island, basic lands are nice to use. Certain cards you look only for basics, so you don't want to be kind of full of, I found having a decent amount of basics in there is always good for me. Well, it worked for me. Wasn't say it was good. So here's a enchantment aura. Ashes Favor, giving flying, first strike, and vigilance. First strike really doesn't matter for Rafiq because he has double strike, but the flying and vigilance were pretty good. I wouldn't always get him big enough to kind of swing in one-shot people, but having a double strike with vigilance as a defender is pretty good in case someone wants to come your way. Rancor, +2/+0 and trample. Trample being a nice little ability to add on to Rafiq that goes with everything. Not Vine Paladin. This guy again, kind of almost like a sort of Exalted trigger with getting +1/+1 until the end of turn for each untapped creature I control. If I just have him out, or if I wanted to attack with two creatures, if depending on what else I have in here, I don't remember. Maybe every now and then attacking with two. Another island. Wooden Stream. Playing three colors. I did find it useful to play in a number of duels, whether they're the kind of generic coming to battlefield tapped. They don't, they're not as threatening as something that you can have untapped and going right after. You don't always have a turn one play anyway, so sometimes it's not too bad to go with those. Planes, Swan Song have had a kind of fairly universal counter in there. That's for a little bit of protection. Anora Exalted with Guiltspire Avenger. Also the ability to destroy a target creature if it dealt me damage. Go to the Pantheon. There are a number of enchantments we'll see in here that I use to attach to Rafiq or perhaps another creature. So making them cost a little bit less and gaining life out of it was pretty good. Here's a better dual land for me. Hindering Light, there's an aura counter that allows me to draw a card. Surveilling Sprite, I think, was in there as a it was just kind of sort of an early play where maybe I could have a flyer out, and if not, then I'll end up getting a card and can chump block off of it. Sorry about the meowing in the background if you hear that. Secluded Step, Cycling Land. Fog. I'm a big fan of fog effects. I don't know why. They're not as good as what you think they are. But you'll see eventually why I like fog. There's another green blue land, a forest. I don't know, countless battles. So there's one where I'm mainly looking at them for the bestow cost, and really buffing someone up by +X on our island. Another exalted creature that grants exalted. Afterlife, looking to destroy other things that are out there that might be threatening me. Geologic Destiny. I always like this card. +4 flying. For 4 was good, and plus it would return to my hand. So if a creature dies, and hey, if I've got another creature, I can always throw this on the next one. I have in my Elders a commander staple. I'm looking for lands and helping you draw a card, so it's not a bad thing. Forest, the Citadel. That's what allows me to play all 3 colors of the shards. It comes in tap, but that's fine. Another here's an enchantment that also grants exalted and allows you to tap down a creature as you attack. Oblivion Ring, again, more removal. Rogue's Passage. That's nice to give a creature when you get them big enough to have unblockable. Again, I don't think I was always looking to swing with Rafiq. He was more out there to grant buffs and the exalted and double strike trigger. I wasn't really a fan of trying to one shot with your commander and only deal the 21 damage you needed. 21. It's been about 2 years since I played a game, so it's been a while. Ardent Bleeders are exalted. A champion that gets exalted, and Cascade. So if you can run into another aura or creature that's small enough, that could be beneficial. Plains. Sleep, kind of a, I don't know. I don't think I've seen it too much played in the play group I played in. Just a way to kind of stall for a second and maybe get your shot in. Here's some basic land search. Again, that's why I pack basic lands. Look for basic lands. Sometimes it's good to mana ramp. Cathedral of War gives you another exalted trigger and taps for 1. Our Plains, Command Tower. Pretty much in every commander deck, taps for whatever colors your commander are. It's a white-green land, and blue-white land, Aqueous Form, can't be blocked. And then the Scry trigger is good, but mainly in there for that enchanted creature can't be blocked. Master of the Falcons in there as a flyer as a way to draw a card, and fits with the whole Bant theme. Being able to play a white mana and either a green or a blue. There's a forest. I don't know what piles I'm putting these into. If you kind of see, I have no rhyme or reason. Temple Mystery, Scrying Land, Dual Land. I really started playing Commander and getting Magic in the Theros era. So a lot of the Theros cards I appreciate and like a lot. Saracen, I don't think I ever had it out too early, like on a turn 1. In a game of Commander where you start with 40 life, you're already swinging for 6 with lifelink. Fifth Grove allowing you to play all 3 colors essentially for at least 2 turns. Miracle Thicket, another cycling land. Creation Squire, exalted. See, this swamp does not belong in here and does have Sun Petal WGs for Sun Petal Grove. I wouldn't have cards for all my decks, so I'd kind of, generic proxies. Our play group was okay with them on occasion, like this one. We did not want them to be abused, and everyone knew I had a Sun Petal Grove, and I think I have several now. Light Wielder Paladin. This is kind of for getting rid of black and red. I think I ever really did too much with it. Val Grace Angel, another flyer with Exalted. Our island. The Jutai's command. Command giving you a couple options, probably to draw a card and counter a creature card, or maybe bringing back one of my 1 or 2 drops from my graveyard. Plains, Rock's Charger, again, there's another Exalted. Bant with the Alara block was big with Exalted. When I say I started to first play around Theros, that's when I really started playing. I got my first cards, kind of dived into Magic a little bit back around Alara. So both Alara and Theros are really important to me. Also, Arc Bridge with Hideaway, Forest, Island, Tricks of the Trade +2/+0 and unblockable. Spirit Mantle, protection from creatures is pretty good. Again, looking to kind of have one creature that can kind of get in and do whatever is good. Turn for Frog, I think I used a few times, which can be very beneficial. It's kind of a countering type card. Returning enchantment cards and or destroying target enchantment. Dawn to Dusk I think is pretty good. We have Overbeing, especially putting on a Bant creature. +2/+2 and Vigilance and Flying is pretty good. Canopy Cover is almost, it ended up being with another card I think I have, almost like a kind of unblockable creature and also, hexproof. Non-recycling land. Sun Titan, that's a good way to get some stuff back onto the battlefield that I probably lost at some point. So he was excuse me, he's pretty good. Unflinching Courage, good. The lifelink, the trample, +2/+2. Anytime you're doing a plus with double strike, that ends up being an extra 4 damage. So that's good. Joseph Familiar, I've used him a few times to counter. He's not bad for 1/1 and having a flyer, especially on the first turn. Our creature with Exalted, Fleece Mane. There's our big cat from Theros. Get it out and give it monstrosity, and you're looking pretty good with that guy. Rupture Spire, very lackluster, but gets the job done card where I can create mana of any color, but you need to have something in the battlefield first, and you kind of end up wasting that turn, especially if it's a summon. Another way to remove creatures from my opponent. Please for guidance, looking for 2 enchantments. As we see, I've had a number of enchantments. Scattered Eye Prophets in there. Again, I think more for the ban. Putting lands in play is good, depending on. I have a couple of different board wipes, if you will. A Devastation Tide allowing me to return non-land permanents to their owner's hands, which sometimes you need to do, even your own. Resounding Silence in there, again, removing attacking creatures. Cycling is expensive for that, but depending on what's attacking, it can be beneficial in drawing a card. Traveler's Cloak, giving land walk of a certain type and drawing a card. Nor enchantment giving indestructibility. So I did cast Sorcerer with Exalted. Foil, Burrows of Paradise. Nice little 1-drop there, helping you ramp up, and nice that it's a foil, and she kept it in pretty decent condition. Sage's Reverie, giving creature buffs for all the auras I have out and on it. Gift of Immortality, kind of keep coming back and on one. Green-white, dual land, comes in tapped, plains. Darksteel Sentinel, I kind of threw a little indestructibility in there in case I need someone with Exalted to swing with that. Green, of course, drawing your 3 cards with Harmonize, which not quite exactly another color pie with just drawing 3 cards. Nara Forest, Steel of the Godhead, Again, you play it on a blue-white creature and you get +2/+2, unblockable and lifelink. Off authority, giving hexproof is good with all the removal there is, and you know, how many years of Magic now? 25, 26 years. And giving a creature hexproof that you want to do a lot of damage is good. Another island, Slice and Twain, you know, again, removal and drawing cards. I don't, you know, blue's really good for drawing, white's good for drawing. It's something I don't really focus on with this deck. There's just flying hexproof guy in there that maybe I need to get in there. Here's our board wipe, kind of resetting the current board state, you know, where I think everything they have, and I'm really keeping 7 cards, so I think I've used that a couple times, kind of definitely prolong the game. 1/1 Exalted Guy, Ethereal Armor. Again, looking at all the enchantments that I'm probably casting on there, and then of course Armadillo Cloak, which its ability, that last ability there is not lifelink, so they kind of stack, and then we end up with the Vivid Meadow. It's kind of similar to that green light I had earlier. I'm assuming that was 100 cards. I know at points I've taken apart and moved cards from deck to deck, and you know, they can be tricky to keep track of. So that was Rafiq. So I grabbed a couple pre-release kits for me and my wife. We opened them up last night. Did not film it. I probably should have. So I'm going to kind of go through here and show what was opened up. Oh, I grabbed the wrong box. What I ended up opening up and not using before going through and showing what I built with the cards you don't see me opening up. Alright. So I found neither of the promos I got in my kit to be playable. I got a Kaya, Being of the Dead, and not Solar Blaze. I got a Rafiq WAR as the other one, exiling all color permanents. So it's like, alright, you know, those are fine, but not really where it's going. Solar Blaze. Did pick up a Plaza gate that I didn't find usable. Goblin Warrior, Tibalt's Rager, Chain Whip Cyclops, and you got a Tybalt. Thought about putting him in. Let's see when I go in a second. Didn't have really a lot of non-creature spells, so the +1/+0's Cried didn't seem too good for me. Could be a decent blocker, but again, not wasn't looking a lot instants and sorceries. Stay away from land destruction. I didn't see too many artifacts in here, so I'm not worried about what Lane Flight's playing. There's something interesting that we'll find. 3 on-crop invaders. I'm going to kind of set them right there. So yeah, triple clips out of 6. Got an Iron Bully. Thought about Vraska. You know, I wanted to do something with Proliferate. Wasn't to be more mana fixing, kind of drawing a card. Stayed away from it. And then 2 Sahili Silverlings. Kind of dove in. Rel's Outburst. Invade the City. Kazmina. a lot of Planeswalkers. Not a lot, but something I'm not used to. Even Eternal. Mass 1, No Escape, Erratic Visionary. I'm gonna watch this again. Crush Descent. Oh yeah, there's no Aven Eternal. Crush Descent. Totally Lost. Crush Descent. Foil Spell. Keeper Weird. Tamio's Epiphany. Community's Transmutation. Erratic Visionary. Crush Descent. Just opening 6 packs, you know, I've got a 3 of a card and a 4 of a card. So I'm found it to be very, a lot unlike any other, you know, pre-release kits I've opened up with all the bid ability. Likely Aid and Likely Aid, 2 of those. Dread Mulligan, Shriek Diver. Wasn't really happy with my black. Nara Street Diver. Triumph, no Liliana, so didn't find that. I try not to be too controlling in my decks, especially, I'm just playing one-on-one for a little bit. Price of Betrayal seemed good. Lazatop Reverb, not a behemoth. So, at one point I was thinking blue-white could be something, with Dove and with the Crushed Sense and removal. Rising Populace, Defiant Strike, the Light Shield, the Kitty Cat. Only pulled one of them, so it wouldn't have been too good. And Giant, Railing Wings, Giant, Topple, Sergeant, Forcer, Giant. So right there I've got all that. Alright, so now that we've seen what I didn't play, let's kind of go one of the removes. Don't need to go through all the lands in here. Guess I should have set this up a little bit better, but that's what happens when you don't really prep and know what you're going to do before you just start doing it. You just start filming. All right. So, again, with all the repetition, pack 1, my rare was Mythic, and it was Ilharg. Pack 2, don't remember. Pack 3, another Ilharg. Okay, so this guy seems really good. It's been talked about. Being a planar creature and kind of as a lightning bolt and staying alive can be really good, depending on what it is. And so knowing I got big creatures, I want to play a big creature. I want to have some in hand. Here's a 5/3. So back to my whole proliferate idea, and there's one Bloom Hulk. Pyro Helix for removal. There's a 3-drop for Death Touch, seemed good. Here's some more removal. Big Worm, again, if I can play him with one of the boars, that's awesome. The Hellion seemed pretty good. Kind of goes with the proliferate theme. Another Bloom Hulk. Got a foil Kiora, which seems good if I'm going to be having these big creatures and trying to cast them. Drawing off of it's going to be good. More removal direct damage. There's some more proliferate with Courage and Crisis. And I did pull Anissa. She was the only rare Planeswalker I pulled. I'm not really looking through the camera at this. I'm just kind of bringing things up. Except right there when I'm staring at it. Yes, it seems good if you can get her out and have all the extra land you could use, and eventually with proliferate, giving your lands indestructible and pulling them all out is pretty cool. I have one creature with a mass, so with a proliferate and get them out early enough and can proliferate, that seems good. There's another Courage and Crisis. Here's my 3rd Bloom Hulk. And I pulled a Ronas. So I felt it was, I was very lucky to open up a sealed kit with 3 mythic rares. And, and that touch is good, and doubling the power of each other creature I control. I attack with the boar, and the boar is a 12/12, and he comes down with for 5. Seemed really good. Another big creature. Another guy who looks at the greatest power creatures. Kranko in there for fun. I kind of figure if you can proliferate him, get him up before he even he attacks once, and then you start proliferating, and then you can start making a number of goblins too. Putting a +1/+1 with Downreach Ambush, good for proliferate. Grizzly, digging for creatures, planeswalkers, more direct damage removal. Another proliferate card. Jiang Yangu. Again, looking to help with the proliferate with adding counters, and also helping out with some, helping out with your mana curve, and then the forest I forgot to take out. So that's what I built. I think it's pretty good. I hope she's not paying too much attention to me from the other room right now. And maybe this deck will catch you by surprise and does what it needs to. That, or I won't draw enough lands, or we'll draw too many. I think I put in 15, so I've got 15 in lands, 25 non-lands. And that's what I built. So I guess a not so mediocre deck that I did, and then kind of probably not even close to mediocre Rafiq, or I guess depending on your play group and how casual or competitive they are. I know we had a pretty high power level, so I didn't really play Rafiq too much. When you're playing with 4, 6, 8 players, depending on the 4, but once you get into 6 and 8, with group politics, you don't want to play a commander who's kind of renowned for doing the whole one-shot aspect. So that was this Thursday. Just kind of look back at decks I've done. Next week we'll resume with the crack packing Thursdays. Crack packing, I will say. They get one positive note from a person saying that they like that one. And I guess I've got a few views that aren't my own now, so I'm doing something. At some point, this man will change. I don't know into what, and I need to get out there and do things, but I guess I've talked long enough. It's 26 minutes and odd seconds, so thanks again for joining me here at Mediocre MTG, and I'll, I guess, talk to you guys next week. All right, thanks, bye.